Everybody should fear the Warriors, period, at this junction in time. It's not just Splash Brothers. We got Splash Triplets now, the way Poole been playing. I mean, it is ridiculous just how good this Warriors team is playing. Let me remind everyone that the Warriors were a 1 seed for a reason. Let me remind everyone that the Warriors started the season, I believe, 27-6. And it was just about the new year. Let me remind everyone that the Warriors were a bona fide team even before a man by the name of Kevin Durant came and left. The Warriors went to 2 NBA titles. The Warriors won 67 games before ever breaking the NBA record for most wins in a regular season. The Warriors are already bona fide by the nucleus of their roster with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and then you want to add Jordan Poole on top as a cherry? Come on now, make it make sense. You can't, because there's too much talent for it to make sense. 70 points over the course of 20 minutes. That's what the Warriors did last night. Several different runs over the course of the game. The Warriors are stupid. They're a cheat code. They're the type of team that you play with on NBA 2K when you're trying to make sure you get a dub. When you got money on the game and you need to make sure you lock up this bread so you can take your gal out to dinner that night. That's the kind of team the Warriors have right now. The all light-skinned Golden State Warriors, a squad to be reckoned with.
I can't play for the Warriors.
Let me remind everyone who is the youngest individual on the panel right now, because he's making a reference both to playing video games and going out on a date. So let's just set that there. And who is also overreacting to 2 games against yet another compromised opponent. No, look, I love what I'm seeing from the Golden State Warriors, and I love the fact that we are getting the hint that maybe the Warriors will be able to conjure that magic that we got to see one more time, that we'll get to see Klay, Dre, and Steph do what they did for about a 4-year run. But all that said, this is not enough evidence of that. First of all, can we just say, I have the feeling that the reason that we're asking this question and we're getting to it so quickly is because Colvin, our producer, is a Warriors fan. And he can't wait for everybody to go, hey, the Warriors, they're back, right? They're back, right? We got to answer that question. They don't even see each other in the next round, okay? The Phoenix Suns have to get through the Dallas Mavericks, and the Golden State Warriors have to get through either the Memphis Grizzlies or the Minnesota Timberwolves, both of whom are far more advantaged to take advantage of the Golden State Warriors than this Denver Nuggets team. So if and when the Phoenix Suns see the Golden State Warriors, then I might say, yes, they need to fear them, because it will mean that they've figured out a few things to get past what I anticipate to be the Memphis Grizzlies. But as of right now, Phoenix Suns are sitting pretty. They shouldn't be worried about anybody other than the Milwaukee Bucks over in the Eastern Conference.
Ooh, okay. Let's say this.
Ready?
I think that the Suns should fear the Warriors and the Warriors should fear the Suns. Mutual respect and mutual fear. But we're not there. You're right, Slick. So why are we talking about it right now? I think we're talking about it right now because this is not the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Raptors. In that series, they're up 2-0. But let's be real. The Sixers look a little disjointed. Embiid, game 1, not efficient. Harden's not efficient so far in both games. And Maxey is playing lights out. So you're looking at a team going against a compromised Raptors team, and you're like, I'm not so sure about the Sixers, even though they are getting the proper results. With the Warriors is a little different. They're going against an undermanned team as well. 2 max players are not playing for the Nuggets. We're talking about Murray, we're talking about Michael Porter Jr. Not playing. So Jokic is out there with his tongue wagging out. I am just exhausted. They are using him up on both ends of the court. But this is different, Slick, because the Warriors are not playing disjointed like the 76ers are against that undermanned Raptors team. They are on fire against this team. Here's an interesting stat, because we have seen the Warriors under Steve Kerr look amazing, obviously, winning championship after championship. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, etc. Do you know last night we saw something historic from these Warriors, and based on what Steve Kerr has done with them? They had the most points in a quarter that they've ever had under Steve Kerr. Ever? I mean, with Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, they went out there and gave him 44 in that third. Stop playing with these boys. These boys not playing. Tyrone Poole got everybody wet. He's splashing. He with them too. And it's crazy because everything he's doing is ahead of schedule.
It's Jordan Poole.
Oh, what did I say?
Tyrone.
I'm back on Tyrone. Like a Tyrone.
Damn, they both balling. Look at me. I'm confused. Y'all looking like. Let me stop. All right, so here's the thing. They are balling out of control with a guy ahead of schedule, who also was ahead of schedule, Klay Thompson. Like, some people were throwing in a towel on Klay Thompson in terms of, will he be Klay Thompson in the series? Steph Curry coming off an injury. We saw that coming off the bench. Plus minus a plus 32 for Steph Curry in game 2. Draymond and his injury that shortened the season for them in terms of expectations and them chasing the Suns for the #1 seed. He got hurt game 38, 39, and things started to look different for these Warriors. Basically, they're full force, full Voltron right now, Slick. I hate to say it, man. Both teams need to respect and fear each other.
This Warrior squad reminds me of the second generation Bill Belichick Patriots dynasty. The Patriots had 2 dynasties. Y'all remember they had the first one, Vince Wilfork, Richard Seymour, Ty Law, Teddy Bruschi, Willie McGinnis. But then that second one, too, had names, Dante Hightower, Patrick Chung, McCourty, etc. See, we saw the first dynasty with that nucleus of the Warriors players. You had Steph, you had Klay, you had Draymond. Clearly, basketball is different. 5 players on a court, football, 22 players offensively and defensively. So the Warriors, like the Patriots, kept that nucleus. Tom Brady, Steph Curry, kept that nucleus. However, you add a name here and you add a name there. For the Warriors now, that name is Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole, who's come out and gave you 5 for 10 from 3 in one game, 5 for 7 from 3 in another game, 10 for 17 from 3 over the course of his first 2 playoff games. Utterly ridiculous. What we're witnessing, in my mind, is now the beginning of this Warriors domination once again in the playoffs. It's too early for me to call this Warriors team a dynasty, but remember, the Warriors prior to Steph Curry getting hurt were dominating the regular season as the 1 seed, and Steph Curry was the clear favorite to be the NBA MVP throughout the first 2 months of basketball. Slick Rich, you were watching attentively. This Warriors team ain't coming out of nowhere. It's not as though my thoughts are far-fetched. The Warriors were great, and then they were injured. They were not great and bad. They were great and injured. Now that they are healthy, they are great, and once again, great.
Yeah, Slick. Damn.
It's fair. It's fair. Look, here's the question. Do you believe in Tyrese Maxey? Do you believe in Anthony Edwards? Do you believe in Jordan Poole in being able to lead their respective teams deep into the playoffs? Do you fear Jordan Poole against the Phoenix Suns? Because that's what's happened through the first 2 games. I attended both of them. And while Steph and Klay ended up putting up numbers, they were actually playing off of Jordan Poole, and Jordan Poole made all of the big shots and the big plays. Both Steph and Klay were efficient. But look at who they're playing against the Denver Nuggets. First of all, who on the Denver Nuggets is going to take any one of those guys off the dribble or make them play defense? There's nobody who has that capability. This is all Nikola Jokic, which means Draymond Green, who doesn't have to score, and Kevon Looney, who doesn't have to score, they need to put in the work defensively. Everybody else, we can live with Aaron Gordon and Monte Morris and Will Barton are not getting anything done. So when they move on to the Memphis Grizzlies and especially the Phoenix Suns, that all changes. And now you're not only going to get guys that they're going to have to defend, but they're also going to have guys that are far more athletic that are going to be able to stay in front, not of all of them, but at least some of them. It's a free-for-all right now, which is why they had the historic number that they did in the third quarter, because everybody's getting to eat. When you start taking it away, now it becomes, okay, so if Jordan Poole's not going off, can Steph carry us? Can Klay carry us? Acho, you mentioned the injuries. Like, here's the reality. They're trying to get back to what they were. And from what I've seen, they've given us glimpses of what they were, but it hasn't been a steady diet. And if we're talking about getting past the Suns, it's going to have to be a steady diet. So I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying that they have fired our imaginations, but to say that they've already demonstrated that they have the entire package back at this point, I'm not ready to go there just yet.
Slick, man, you told on yourself. And I knew it was something off because you're a Bay Area guy. And look, it's okay to have some rooting interest. So I know there's a lot of self-hate going on right now. You're trying not to be that guy who's rooting for your home team.
No.
Yeah?
This isn't an overcompensation thing, I promise you.
I was getting there, but you got there because you know you're there. So here's the thing, Slick. And then you told on yourself when you went to the game. We all know in this business, going to the games, a little more difficult to see all what we can see from at home with the remote as I rewind, as I take it all in. Yeah, I love being at the crib. When I go to a football game, I don't know who got a first down and who scored a touchdown because somebody talking to me and passing me a drink and I'm eating popcorn. That is not slick, though. I'm not going to call you out like that, but I'm going to call you out for saying that Jordan Poole needs to lead this team. Why does he need to leave? Because
No. I asked the question.
Can he lead?
I asked the question.
We doesn't even need to even think about leading. Just be who you are. An ahead of schedule contributor like you are right now. Because Steph is going to play himself back into form. Klay Thompson may be a little more difficult because a little more catastrophic of injuries. But at the same time, whatever Jordan Poole is giving them is helping them out for whatever voids that they're getting from Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. 34, 29, and 21. Good Lord.
So far.
But this is great because Jordan Poole is getting the confidence that he needs in the playoffs, even if it's against a team that's undermanned and injured. Hey, I don't care how you get it because Steve Kerr has had loaded teams that had to beat up on lesser teams. But now Jordan Poole is like, I'm getting my man bones against a team that's not ready. I'm listening to you. What's up, Slick?
Okay, so you weren't a believer in Tyrese Maxey and the 76ers, or the jury was still out because they're playing against a compromised opponent. And I understand your suggestion that the pieces are fitting together better with the Warriors, but it's a very similar situation. They're playing against a compromised opponent, and they're eating as a result, and I would say an even worse matchup than what the Raptors I would have. I would say at this point the Raptors are still a better team than the Denver Nuggets are, particularly when it comes to the matchups. So what I'm not clear on, Marcellus, is why you're not all in on the Philadelphia 76ers, but you are with the Golden State Warriors. Unless there's a team in the Eastern Conference that you have to protect.
Try to take a shot back at
because you put all your money on the Brooklyn Nets. So I can't go too far down that road if I'm Marcellus Wiley on the Philadelphia 76ers, because then there are going to be some questions raised about, well, what happened to your Brooklyn Nets?
Astute analysis, I see. Only thing is you focused on the wrong variable. Here, just to make fun of what you just said and to actually poke a hole in it. Historically, I don't believe in James Harden in the postseason. I don't think anybody does, right? He's had too many low moments. He regresses from his greatness in the regular season. That's all I'm saying. Harden, historically, not the same dude in the postseason. This postseason, not the same dude he was in the regular season already, which is giving me more evidence to don't believe them coming together. Historically, Klay, I believe. Steph, historically in the postseason, I believe. And now we got this addition of Jordan Poole, everybody getting wet. Matter of fact, let's see how my Western Conference team looking like now. You know I had to go back to Compton to represent this CPT. You see that CPT right there? That's Curry, Poole, and Thompson. That's the name of this backcourt right now, CPT. Got to respect the hood right there.